Perfect. Nailed it.
A little bit.
I'm like, I'm not wearing anything.
I'm not wearing any shoes. Yeah, my feet are dirty too. I wore
haven't
flip-flops
cut
here.
my toenails in a minute.
Oh, God. Hello.
It is. Okay.
Welcome back. Professional Yappers Podcast. Fitness, feelings, friendship, fun, feet. That's all. Episode over.
What's the one I always say that's not it?
Feelings.
Feelings. No, I say fun. And I'm like, that's not it. Anyways.
Anyway, Mercury is in the microwave and it is screwing us all over, and we need to talk about it because it's probably screwing you over too, but you don't know about it.
Yeah.
And I don't know as much as these two witches know, so we're going to learn together today.
Yes. Some things
Right.
that have happened this week, just to give you a little
Yeah.
taste. I got rummaged through. I keep saying
Sound good.
I got robbed, and I'm like, well, I did leave my car unlocked, so like, but I guess I did still get robbed. But they only took my North Face backpack, and they took everything out of it and left it on my lawn, and they didn't take my impact drill or my Ray-Bans or my headphones. So
You know, when
it's a
you
win.
when you told me about this at the gym in the morning, you said that you had gone down to get your computer because you had like a weird gut feeling.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We
I
had a
was
whole
like-
talk about that.
I was like, I think she just left her backpack somewhere and forgot it.
Oh, no.
I didn't believe you at all. I didn't believe
I'm
you
like,
for a
I haven't.
second.
Oh, I forgot to start that.
I didn't believe you until I saw the picture of the stuff on your lawn, and I was like, oh. Okay.
You think I was just like, I can't find my backpack? Someone must have taken it.
Well, I thought that you had probably dumped it out to get your computer, like, in your car, and then you, like, threw your backpack out.
Oh,
to the,
yeah.
I don't know, but I did not believe you.
I will say, though, we were talking about this, Michelle and I, which we were hanging out because Barrett didn't see our text message that said, do you want to hang out? And then she missed it, and we were done by the time she saw it. So that's
But she
another
also
shitty
missed
thing
all
that
of our
happened.
messages from this morning.
Yeah.
I'm not in the loop because of Mercury.
Mercury being in the fucking
Yeah.
microwave. But
It's
I
the planet of
almost-
communication.
Oh.
my computer almost could have gotten stolen, but I woke up at 2:30 the night I got robbed, and I went downstairs because I had this instinct to go get my computer out of my car, and while I was doing that I realized both my garage doors were left open. So, and then I went upstairs, went back to bed, and from that time to 5 a.m. is when the perps came.
The perps.
And apparently they hit up 19th too.
Yeah.
So it's been a
But
while.
you were able to close your garage doors and get your computer bag out of your
Yeah.
car.
Yeah, so I took
Because
that
you
as
listened to your intuition when you had a gut feeling.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was one thing. That same night before that all happened, I was like going to the bathroom. I know that's irrelevant, but that's how like random this thought was. I was sitting on the toilet and I was like, why the fuck do I worry all the time? Like, I know at the end of the day, this is going to work out. I know it. Like, I know that everything that I want is going to happen, but I spend this time just fretting over it, and then I'm not present, and then it's just putting me behind.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I know it's impossible for us not to worry sometimes, but I think that like, perspective of just being like, is this benefiting me right now, is sometimes helpful in stopping the worry.
Yeah.
I think that this very crazy energy that we're going through this month right now is like illuminating things like that to people specifically. Like, here's what's limiting you. And it's going to be so obvious that you're going to go, oh, this is not helping.
Yeah.
And I can just get rid of it.
For sure. Because me, 100%, what's limiting me is like worrying instead of doing.
Yeah.
I feel that with my depression because it's been about a month now that I've been like pretty low. I have bipolar. I feel like we've covered this, but that's why it goes like that. And I had this realization that like it won't last forever, and I know it won't last forever, but if I keep treating it like it's going to last forever, it's going to hurt worse and be harder. And that's the first time I've ever had that thought. I've had the thought of like what if I pretended this is going to last forever, and how would I treat it differently if I knew this was going to be the rest of my life?
Yeah.
I've had that, like, thought experiment before, but never this, like, feeling of this too shall pass.
Yeah.
But yeah, it has been about a month. Has Mercury been
It's been like a
microwaving
week.
for a month or
Yeah, it's been there for a couple of weeks now. I can't remember exactly the day
I think
when it went
was
in.
like early July is when it
Yeah.
started.
Okay.
I also had several issues, like the transaction for Brittany to pay me wouldn't go through, and like she tried several times, and she kept showing me like her screen. She's like, I don't know what is happening.
Yeah, that is
Also, I tried to pay at the pump gas, and it would not take any of my cards. I tried multiple cards; it wouldn't take any of them. I went inside. The computer in there still was like having issues with it, and she was like, "Oh, it's just MasterCard that it does this with." And I was like, "Dude, I literally put gas in this gas station at least once a week. Like,
Right.
I've never had an issue here.
Yeah.
You know?"
Yeah, it's real. Like it for
Yeah.
sure
Yeah.
fucks shit up.
But tell us why it fucks shit up.
Well, so it could get very deep, or it could be very simple. It could
Yeah.
get very deep if you're like, well, it depends on what else is going on in the solar system at the time. What else are
Right.
the planets
Yeah,
doing?
but
What
like-
house are we in? Where are we at?
High level, yeah.
Yeah.
But basically, when Mercury goes retrograde, so when it's rotating in the direction that it normally rotates, everything is just normal forward movement. When Mercury goes retrograde, it actually revolves in the opposite direction, which is when you are supposed to start reflecting on the journey thus far. Because I think it goes into retrograde like 4 times a year or
Yeah.
something like that. Like, it's pretty frequent.
Yeah.
Like 4 or 6 times a year or something like that. Sorry, I'm not a better witch today, but
No, I mean,
there's a lot going on right now
Yeah.
with all of the
There's-
energies and stuff, and
you
I'm
could have,
I'm focusing on other things that are like extremely fascinating to me right now. But just like, instead of everything being like go 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 forward movement, it's time to attain my goals. Sometimes it's you have to breathe in and you have to breathe out. This is the out breath. This is the sigh. This is like reflect on and reassess and then go again. You
Yeah.
know, that's what I like to do during this time.
Just picturing a planet like being like, "Ugh," like we're going backward instead of
Like,
going
yeah,
going
let's
back
just
to
go
the
look at
frequency.
everything that's happened and see where we're at and how we can shift, because there's a lot of things happening right now. Like, I watch a lot of animal communicators, and I was telling Kristen about showing her this morning, and Barrett kind of overheard us. The animals are talking about there is a portal that is opening up right now, and they can see it. They can tell us what it feels like, what it looks like, and it's basically like those of us who can tap into the energy and can use it. We're shooting into a different timeline,
That's
into
the
a
new
different
paradigm.
dimension. It's the new paradigm,
like
right?
2027 is the start of the new paradigm.
And not everybody's going to shift at the same time.
No.
There are
Sounds like
some,
a rapture.
yeah, almost, but we all get to stay here.
Yeah.
And for the better. Like it's
Right.
it's shifting us in a way that's absolutely necessary, but I think a lot of the people that aren't quite there yet are going to have a harder time adjusting because they're going to have to like learn the hard way.
They're going to perceive the world very differently than the people who have shifted. Because the people who have shifted are like, sure, bad things happen in the world. We're aware of that. It's not like we're pretending that nothing
course,
bad happens
right.
in the world. But that's not my job. My job is to become the enlightened version of myself.
Yes, my job is to worry about what
Right.
lights me up, what's authentic to me, and
Right.
if everyone else is doing that, then it will be this like symbiotic.
The problems start solving themselves when
Right.
people stop focusing on nothing but the problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever you're giving energy to, you are creating more of. And if everybody's sitting there watching the news and panicking, guess what we're creating? Panic, and more things to be panicked about.
I think about that with politics a lot because I'm like, or just like things that are happening in the world, because oftentimes I think what happens is the result of our reaction,
Our
to
attention to.
what
Yeah.
happened. So it's like we
Hashtag
are.
deep.
It's so. I mean, but that's really like what it is.
No,
and
it seriously is.
it's just so. If people could just realize, like, all you have to do is focus on what you know is right for you,
Right.
then like it will all just work out.
If you can get yourself glowing, then you affect the 10 people around you, who affects the 10 people around them, who affects the 10 people around them.
It's like the
and
butterfly
something
effect.
like within 8 or 7, you've reached everyone in the world.
Yeah.
You know, it goes from like 10 to 100 to
Yeah,
100,000
it's
to a million
Yeah.
to a billion. And it's like, boom, that quick, everyone in the world gets affected by you working on your energy, one person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you're inspiring and you're making people look at you and they think, okay, they look like they're happy, they're magnetic.
Right.
I want that. What are they doing to get that? And this kind of, we were talking earlier about how sometimes it's difficult to be in relationships where the other person isn't quite, like, I don't even want to say they're not as, like, they haven't worked on themselves a lot. They're just not...
I know what
They're
you're
not
trying to
sensitive
say.
to it.
I know
They
what
they
you're
just
trying to
haven't
say.
tapped into it enough to be sensitive to it, to
like-
actually see it and feel it and know it like
Yeah,
we do.
and
Like we see it
It
and
is
know
hard to wrap your mind around because there is so much that goes into it, but like scientifically this is what's happening.
it. Right.
And it's, for me, it's hard when I see someone self-sabotaging almost, and I know that I do it too. Like I have versions things that I do that are self-sabotaging because the work is not ever done.
Right.
I'm always going to have to do work on myself. But when people look at themselves and they're like, I'm just this way and this is how it's always going to be and nothing's going to change, it's like, no, like you can change and there is a better way. There is a higher frequency, but you're just not,
Yeah.
you're putting a ceiling on yourself.
You're staying in your safe zone of what's comfortable because you know it, but you cannot have something different by staying where you're at. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, but it's important, I think, for us to still, like, try to get through to them because eventually, when they're ready, it's going to click.
I think that's why we talk about this stuff on this podcast, like in this format, because a lot of the times I think it's not that people aren't willing to do the work or haven't done the work for some active reason. It's just that they have no idea that it's an option.
Available.
Or they don't believe
like-
it. They don't believe that it works.
Like you said, self-sabotage, and it reminded me of an interesting conversation that I had with a client, but it sparked a thought in myself that I was like, oh my God, I totally self-sabotage. And there's like a little nudge in the back of your head when you know you're doing it. And my example, when I went back to the client, I was like, you made me think about this, thank you, was when I garden in the evening. We started saying that for a while, and then we just went back to being like, when I smoke weed.
Yeah.
But if I know that there's something that I want to do, like, that is a little bit out of my comfort zone, if I'm like, oh, I kind of want to film a YouTube video, or even like I need to clean my house, or
Yeah.
I'll be like, well, I'll just have a little hit of
Yeah.
this, and then I'm like, oh well,
I'm stoned.
because I can't do it now, and it's like that type of, you need to be self-aware enough to know that that's why you're reaching for the vape and not just
Are you avoiding?
reach for the vape.
Or are you doing it to just, like, enjoy
Relax
it? Like,
a
I
little
do
bit.
think that there's
If
a
it's
world-
mindful versus
Right.
if it's mindless.
But if you know that you're avoiding something and you know that there's something that you are trying to do and then you choose to do that instead, I think that's when it's like, okay, what are we trying to cover up here?
I didn't even realize that I was choosing to do it. It was just this feeling of like, okay, here's what I want to do this evening. I'm going to smoke a little bit because I like that. And it took until someone else was doing the same thing. And not with weed, but
seeing it in someone else.
being like,
that
dang,
mirror.
can't do the thing that I wanted to because I've impeded myself from that kind of
Right.
growth.
Well, you just convinced yourself that you couldn't do it because that was, your brain was like, well, now we can't do it. But that's not true.
Yeah.
You actually could do it.
Oh, yeah.
You were just like, basically, like you said, giving yourself your own ceiling, you know?
And
Like,
it's all
you could
happening-
do it, you just don't want to now.
Subconsciously.
Yeah.
Like,
When it comes to other people, though, and living together, I do have a comment about that. I think that the best way to handle that situation
You mean
is,
like when other people aren't as...
if you're here
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
they're
okay,
just
okay.
slow to get there, or they don't have the same information that you have, or they're not willing to have the same information as you have, or whatever the circumstances are that has created this imbalance between and I hate to say it, but it is a higher vibration.
It is. I know. I don't want to
Versus
be like,
a lower vibration.
We're better than you.
It's not. It just means that I'm vibrating higher than you because I don't have all this other crap weighing me down that you have that's making you feel dense and sad and unhappy in your life. I don't have that anymore.
Or I'm
I
aware
feel
of it.
I'm buzzing and I'm happy
Yeah.
over here and I'm feeding that. When it comes to how do you handle this, I think that the best thing for the higher vibrational person to do is to say, everybody's going to get there in their own time. There's nothing I can do about how, when, where, how fast this person is going to go. They're going to go at their own speed.
Right.
But I also know that them being in the vicinity of me in a higher vibration, so long as I protect my energy and don't let them bring me down there, naturally they will, because if you take two tuning forks, one tunes the other to the higher vibration every single time.
That's what we
I was
do.
literally just about to say that. I think a perfect example of this was all of us for each other. Like, we all expanded each other in different ways, and we saw things to exist in each other, and it gave us the, I guess,
support.
Confidence and belief that we could do it.
Yeah, it gave us support, which is why community is so important. Like, you don't need your friends to point out your flaws. You need your friends to be your hype crew so that you believe in yourself.
Right. But also,
You know?
I do think it's important to be like, maybe not call you out, but just provide a different perspective. But that's where I'm always a little like, okay.
You can provide a different perspective, but it's
By
better
showing.
to provide a safe space for them to figure it out on their own. Because if somebody is starting to feel themselves, they're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
They're going to start working on themselves.
And I will say, in a relationship I have in my life where this is happening, and I am someone who wants to be like, this is what you need to do.
Yeah.
Like, just fucking
Yeah.
do
Just
it.
coming out.
But you have to fight that urge. And
You're
it
right.
is hard. You have to fight that urge because sometimes
too.
trying to push people there slows their progress down even further.
Well, and it makes them start to resent you, not want to be around you, or not want to open up to you.
Or resent the information, which is critical
even
to
worse.
them moving
Yeah.
forward.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
So I do think the best way to handle that situation is to just lead by example.
Humbly love them where they are and know that as long as I'm protecting my energy and doing my end, I'm going to uplift the people
Yeah.
around me no matter what.
I totally agree. I have two thoughts. One, that we definitely did this for each other. Like, I know we've talked about that, but we feel depleted of like those supportive, lift you up vibes when we don't
see each other. Yeah.
And like yesterday going on that hike, it was like, when we were driving home, she was like, I feel nourished.
Yeah.
Like, I
I
have
did.
nutrients again.
Yeah,
For real.
dude, there was a day, I think it was last week, where all three of us showed up at the gym at the same time, and we were all just like,
Yeah.
why does this feel so good?
But community is so freaking important, and having people that you can talk to about this stuff is like,
Dude,
I
find
can't
your
even put a
tribe.
price on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Find your tribe. Find your people.
Like, I love my partner so much, and I'm as of yesterday, it's official. She's living here.
She's moved in.
She dropped her key off yesterday.
yay.
But she was like, you make me a better person, and you make me want to like do more and be more and everything. And I'm like, I have not once said, hey, so I think you should probably like. She was sitting on the couch the other day looking at her phone, and I was like, well, what are you looking at? She's like, I think I want to volunteer somewhere. Maybe like the zoo or like an animal shelter. And that's when it came up that she was like, I don't think she knows the word expander. That's a little on the woo side.
Inspired, too. Yeah.
But it can happen. It does happen just from being around people. And I would say the same thing for my sister.
Providing a safe
journey.
space so that people can bloom in their own time.
For sure.
Like,
but also, even the people that aren't operating here, like, they can also inspire or expand you, but in a different way. Like,
that's true. That's very true.
Sometimes I need a reminder that, like, it's not that fucking serious, and you can just, like, chill and have a good time, and it's gonna be okay. The work is still gonna be there. And I need that reminder. And someone who maybe isn't as, like, woke or, you know, grown as me, it shows me that. So it's like, I don't think it's the right call to be like, well, they're not, because here's something that I don't like is when it's like, you're the sum of the 5 people you hang around the most. And it's like 100%. I believe that you want to surround your people or yourself with expanders, but an expander doesn't mean, it doesn't have to be like they're successful and rich. Like, an expander could be, oh, I want to love like that, or I want to treat my family
Relax
that
like
way.
That,
yeah,
like that. Yeah.
So it doesn't mean that if you're hanging around someone that is not as, in your eyes, good as you, that they're a bad person to be around.
Yeah. We can all be expanders in different ways.
But I've always hated that, where I'm like, well, yeah, I get that, but, like, to me that gives a vibe of, like, you need to go, your relationships are to help you, like, climb the ladder instead of to help you grow as a person.
Yeah.
Like, it should be intentional, not just to, like, help you get a better career kind of thing.
Yeah, you're going to be attracted to different qualities in different people, and you're going to be like, oh, I like that. I want to be more like that. And that's going to be, like, anyone that you meet and give a chance, honestly, to tell you about them, to tell you about themselves. Yeah. You'll find something to be like, that's a really good, respectful quality that I could implement in my own life, for sure.
It takes such a positive person to see humanity that way. I think that so many people look at, I mean, not to bring it back to, like, the news and the politics, but it's like, what are all the bad qualities of this leader or this country or this whatever, when we could be focusing on the things that are going right or are beautiful about the situation.
I mean, it's a choice to, even, like, going back to me getting my backpack stolen, I could have been like, this day is fucking awful, it sucks, like, pity me.
Yeah.
Or I can be like, actually, this reminded me that I need to lock my doors more and close my garage. This reminded me that I need to trust my gut.
Yeah.
Even if I'm fucking tired and I don't want to go downstairs. Like, it's all about how you look at it. And you can make perception. Any situation.
Okay, so how do we reframe my, like, depressed month?
I don't know, but I came to the conclusion a long time ago that there really is no such thing as bad or good. It's just how you perceive any given thing. And people are going to go, oh, well, people do bad things. And I go, well, people do bad things because they probably had a bad life. So depending on how you perceive it, you know, like, you can have more empathy for somebody who did a bad thing. And also, I don't think that people are their worst mistake. People deserve forgiveness. People can change. People can choose a different thing for themselves.
And going back to, like, looking at something in a positive light, I could look at my past and be like, I don't deserve this, but I choose to look at it like, actually,
Fletch. I knew he was gonna do that.
I think it moved it, like, towards Michelle. I choose to look at it like, this made me a better person, this made me more compassionate, and I don't think I'd be who I am today without that. And I think about my mom a lot in these situations, because my sisters don't talk to her right now. I'm the only one that does. And I understand why they don't, because she does a lot of things that are just break our peace. But I am very much like, I have compassion towards her because I know how hard her life has been, and I know that she is the way she is because of things that have happened. The issue is she is not willing to take accountability and do the work. And that's where it's like, come on, dude. You know?
Yeah. So
Title of the episode, come on, dude.
Yeah.
I thought about your depression while she was talking,
Yes.
and it made me think, just download from the universe. Barrett is going through this because Barrett has to go through this to learn a lesson, and it's not going to stop until she figures out what the lesson is.
I think it's trying to show you something.
It's a mirror
to slow down.
trying to show you something, and when you figure out what it's showing you, it'll just go away.
And here's one thing I maybe think it is, because I feel like I go through this too, is it's sometimes I find I get down on myself when I'm lacking like confidence in myself. I feel like I'm failing. I feel like I'm not doing what I could be doing. And I think that that's a lot of women's problems, is like, you need to find your worth and know your worth and like just have love for yourself. And I do think everything else, if you can get that, you will stop like feeling the need reassurance from guys, or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that I have cracked it a little bit, like what the lesson is. I think there's a few things, just based on realizations that I've had over the past few weeks, of I need to rest in a way that is restful to me, even if it doesn't look like restful to other people, and or normal people don't want to. People don't usually want to sit in silence with their thoughts for 2 hours when they're stressed or whatever. But like, that's how I can get myself to feel rested, and like the sigh of relief I get from doing that is something I've learned only in the past month, because I've been forced into it from this depression. I've been forced to lay in my bed because like I feel like I can't move
and think
and then I'm like, wait, this is actually really restful, and I can like microdose this in my life. And the other thing that I think I've cracked even as of yesterday was, as I was recording that video, my first talking video for Instagram, I said to the camera, I was like, I don't think I have a visibility wound of like being seen. I think I have a wound of being heard and of my thoughts being perceived. Like, you can, I'm a human, I'm a meat sack, whatever, but like, you can hide behind that and not have your thoughts be out there. And of course we have this medium where my thoughts are everywhere, but in the short form kind of content, I was like, I think I'm afraid of being misunderstood, and that's why I've been shutting myself in. But as soon as I like love and accept myself enough that if someone misunderstands me, I can be like, that's just their past, that's their perspective.
Right.
I'll be able to show up more.
And going back to like, I really think a lot of it comes down to us feeling 100% self-assured. Like, we know our intent and we don't feel the need to explain it to other people. And if we are misunderstood, and I'm not saying I have this figured out at all, because I feel like I have an issue being seen, heard. Like, to me, they're almost hard. One and the same. But it's like, I think the real work is figuring out why you have those, like, fears of being misunderstood.
And honestly, I hope this isn't hurtful to say, but I do believe this, and so I'm going to say it. Be careful of the story that you tell. When you're like, I'm bipolar, and you just like accept this thing about you, then that's the only thing you're going to get.
I'm cutting you off there because that's a medical
I understand that, but if you could reframe it in a way that is softer, is what I'm saying, is by saying, I have emotional highs and lows, and I'm figuring out how to get through them. That's a softer way to say it.
Yeah.
Where it like, because saying I'm bipolar takes your power away. Like, I have no power.
I have diabetes.
Right.
Whatever.
But if you have diabetes, you can eat a diet that makes you feel healthy and strong. Like, there are still things that you can do just because you have this thing.
But I don't think I identify with it. I'm not like every day being like, well, I'm just bipolar, I can't
No,
help
I'm not
it.
saying that. I'm just saying just be careful of the story that you say in your head, because there's a way to reframe things in a softer way, I think, that might be beneficial if you can try to do that. I'm not saying that you don't have this thing or that it's not a real thing. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying there's a softer way that doesn't make you a victim, I guess, as much of the thing.
I actually think I made a video on this, but with, like, for me, PCOS was I identified it to a fault, to where I was like, okay, this is something that I have, and so now no matter what I do, I'm going to, like, never have a flat stomach, or I'm always going to have acne or this. And while those are symptoms, it's like, you are also, we all three know how powerful your minds are. And so if you're, the way I look at it, if I'm telling myself that I'm doomed because of this, then it's more likely that I'm going to see that I'm doomed because of this. That, and so I don't think, of course, bipolar is real. And of course, I mean, it's all real. Depression, like, it's all there. But if you can, I do agree, like, try to give yourself grace and be like, that doesn't mean that I'm doomed forever.
Yeah, I was just like, because I know people who give up because of the label. They get the label and then they're like, oh, okay, now I can just be either manic or depressed and just claim that all the time. But I see it as like, I have the label that gives me more information and context from other people's experiences.
And it lets you know that you're not the only one that ever felt that way. Yeah. This actually has a name, so there is a thing out there that people are experiencing.
Can be is a good thing.
Right.
But you have to be careful.
You can't live it as your truth.
Right.
And
it can't be your identity.
Same with EDS.
Right.
Like my joint hypermobility, there are people who, like, they're like, well, I can't work out. I've seen on forums and Reddit and stuff, they're like, I can't work out because I have EDS. I've had people DM me on Instagram asking about that because, well, it was in the group chat. They're like, how do you lift weights with it? I'm like, well, you start carefully and you do it right, but you have to trust that there's an option for getting, not better, but you have to trust yourself enough to try.
Right. And that, I mean, if you think about it, think about Joe Dispenza and the meditations and how people have, like, you know, cured whatever their eyesight. It's kind of like the same sort of thing. It's like, just believe that anything's possible and then take the action until you start to, you know.
And don't always believe what your reality is showing you. Because that's old, that could be old stuff that you brought that's still being reflected to you. Yeah. Know that everything is malleable. You can change it. You know, like,
addiction.
Your experience, your perception of the world, you have a lot of control over.
Yeah. My like, near-death experience, I could have succumbed to that. Like, after I had that and I was in a mental place where I, like, didn't believe in reality, I could have just let that completely take over, but I, like, fought tooth and nail and be like, this is not my reality and this is not how it has to be.
Yeah. And I think we were talking before this about, like, one of my biggest pet peeves is when people just say, like, I have an anger problem and that's how I am and nothing's gonna change that. I'm an addict. That's how I am. Nothing. It's like, yes, you struggle with you deal with this and it's more difficult for you than it might be for the average person. However, that doesn't mean that it's going to, you have to suffer forever. Right. Like, you can do the work. And I think that's oftentimes what separates the people that make it and the people that don't, is like, do you just give up and accept your diagnosis or your issue? Or do you say, okay, this is a hurdle. Why do I have this? What happened to make me this way? I mean, you can look at it with everything. Addiction, it's, like, very mental. I think a lot of it's, like, trauma. With PCOS, it's very like, how are you taking care of your body? And like, is your metabolic health fucked because you were taking drugs for so long and then drinking? And like, there's usually a reason for what we have.
Yeah.
And it's usually
Definitely reasons.
showing us, hey, you have this maybe because of like things that you need to work on. So work on those.
See, that's the thing. Maybe that's the disconnect. Maybe people are like, they keep saying the work. I do the work. What are you talking about? What is the work? Anything that is not going good in your life is where your work is. That's what it's showing you. If you have an anger problem when somebody disrespects you, boom, there's your work. You know what I mean? How you respond to that. If your body is falling apart, that's a good sign that that's your work. Like, whatever is not flowing naturally, because
That's such a good point.
the natural way is ease and flow. Water does not crawl uphill. It flows downhill easily with no resistance. So anything in your life that isn't flowing easily and has resistance, that is your work.
What you resist persists.
That is what the universe is telling you. This is your work. Something about you is attracting this thing, and until you figure it out, you will not have ease and flow in this area of your life, whether it's health, money.
Cards.
What's that?
Let's get cards. It's hanging right there. I was just thinking, you said the universe, and I was like, ooh, I think I need to hear from her. Actually.
Yeah.
It's interesting though, because I also think if you look at people in your life and anything that like is giving, maybe you feel anger towards someone about something or jealousy, like that's where you need to look too. Is like, why am I angry at them? What is, or why am I
are
jealous?
they rubbing me the wrong way?
Yeah.
Like, what is it saying about me that this
Yeah.
person is just irritating me?
Yeah.
And I can't put my finger on it.
And that's what
You
I
helped
think.
me a lot with that, with a certain person in all of our lives. And I was like, I just can't deal with this person. And you were like, but what is it? Like, what about you is not making you able to deal with that person?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, fuck, it is about me.
Yeah, it's
It's always about you.
It's
It's
always
always
Right.
about
It is always about
And
you.
that's-
It's never about them.
And that's
Yeah.
what we mean, because I think that for me, there was such a disconnect. I'm like, okay, how do you do the work? Like,
Right.
what? It's
What
by
is the work?
reflecting,
Reflecting,
noticing
where
these
am I
things.
being a victim and how can I stop being a victim
Right.
of this?
But-
Because I create everything in my own perception. So I can change my mind
Yeah.
right now if I wanted to.
You have to be aware of it, though, and you have to take time to, like, notice and then think on it. And I think people, like, don't know how to get better, but that's how you get better. It's
Right.
just by, like, being aware and then asking questions.
Yeah. Damn, we are on our freaking soapbox today.
I know,
Yeah,
we were supposed
sorry.
to talk about the fact that women's periods are syncing up all over the world and we never got to it. But side note, women's periods are syncing up all over the world and there's some witchy shit happening.
Other side note, this is just funny. This is just gonna be like shoehorned in there. You know the app Flow, the
Yeah.
period app? There is a forum section. Like
Oh, yeah.
there's a where people
think I've
can
actually-
talk on it, but it's only women. And it's like these conversations, I mean, not this one, but we've had conversations on the podcast where it's like health stuff, sex
Yeah.
stuff. But,
Yeah.
oh my God, if you want to laugh, go.
Oh, I bet.
Maria was like, it's period Reddit. It's period. And I was like, no, it's Bleddit.
Bleddit. That's perfect. That's our new app.
Bleddit.
Bleddit.
It's just,
What
it's
was
just
our app gonna be?
Empower.
Empower her.
Yeah. That's still amazing idea.
Yeah.
It is still
Okay.
an amazing idea. All right.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Oh! I did pull one this morning, and, oh my god, what did I get this morning? To be fair. And I just got peace.
Peace. That's a good one.
Ooh,
I have
like that one.
Imagine, which I am interpreting as just like there are so many possibilities for me right now, and it's up to me to like come up with them because there's so much potential
Yeah.
happening in here.
I got no place like home.
I got that last
Ain't
week.
that?
But I did have it in the reverse, so I do kind of want to look up what that means.
Wait, what is number 38? That's
But
what I got.
honestly, like,
To be
I've been
fair,
stuck
yeah.
at home, so this kind of...
I was just gonna
Very
say
fitting.
that's just kind of an
To
obvious.
me-
Sometimes,
And
cats
I've been
just,
working
like,
on
See,
making
I
my
don't know.
environment much more peaceful and more soft and feminine and beautiful, and I'm really enjoying my time at home right now.
Maybe this is just because I'm an outsider and I can see, like, and honestly, two things. One, I want to be better about asking people that are close to me, like, what do you see, like, what do you see my strengths as? What do you see my weaknesses as? Because it's so easy for me to look at, like, you know, Jake or whatever and be like, this is what you need to work on, this is what
Or
you're
us.
doing well on. Yeah. But it's sometimes hard when you're in it to see that. But I see, Michelle, for you, like, and I know I've said this to you like 50 times, but your gift in, like, just creating an environment for kids to grow and, like, create
Thrive and flourish.
is not everyone has that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think you realize how
Because it's
good
so
you are
natural
at it.
to you.
Yeah,
'Cause
and
I
it's the same
don't
for the
have it.
animals too, and the plants. Like, it's not just children; it's like
Yeah.
life. I am a garden for life, and I do believe that. And I love play, and I love imagination. And when we were talking,
47 and so self.
when we were talking earlier, and you were saying something about, like, your clients and how can I help them without, like, worrying about, like, making them feel bad about themselves. And I wanted to say to you the same way I do with the kids. Like, when I'm watching them at their lessons and I'm like, you are so good, like, watching their individual strengths. You are so good at this, and you are so good at this, and you are so good at this. But guys, we could get better at running.
Yeah. Well,
You know what I
totally.
mean? Like,
And-
you don't want to be the last one down there hanging out, slowly running when all the other kids are in line.
Yeah.
But you're really good at this, and this. Like, I build them
Nurture,
up, and I
yeah.
make them want to do the sport that they're in because somebody is witnessing them doing well, and it makes them want to do well more.
Yeah, and I didn't have that as a kid. Like, I feel like my mom was great in a lot of ways, but I don't think she really, like, was like, good job, like, lean
Right.
into that, whatever. And so for me, that I truly think that's why I have had, like, with children, I'm just kind of, like, weird around them because I don't know how to, I almost didn't, I think now I do, know how to be around them and, like, help them and be a good role model. And I'm realizing it's really just, like, supporting them and their interests.
When I
Yeah.
started going to the gym
Interruption.
and I was,
Yeah.
like, getting in shape, and you guys kept, like, encouraging me, you look great, I can see this popping out, I can see that happening. It felt so good to be witnessed. Even if I wasn't the best at it, somebody was witnessing me and my change. That's what you feed them.
Yeah.
It feels so good when someone notices your effort.
Yeah.
So notice their effort.
Yep.
And that's all they need.
Yeah, but we live in a world where it's like tough love, like you gotta, and it's like you can have tough love and support. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be like you fucking suck, go, you know, run 10 miles. And I think if you asked me 5 years ago how I would, like, coach a lacrosse team or whatever, I would be like, I would just give them, like, a no BS tough love attitude. And now I would not say that at all.
Yeah.
I would show them the way that God sees them through my eyes. That's how I
Wow.
do it.
Okay, that's a beautiful note to
Yeah.
end on.
All right.
I
Like and
was gonna
subscribe.
say,
Strawberries.
love you guys.
Love you
This
too.
was
That
so
was a good
fun.
one.
Perfect. Nailed it.